Hey guys, welcome to Electronic Dance Money, your number one business resource for making money as electronic musicians and producers. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Electronic Dance Money. I'm your host, Christian Casito. Last episode has been getting really good reviews. Super glad that people are enjoying that one as well. I mean, I think we're on a pretty good roll here with, providing as much information to you guys as possible while learning something new and helping you improve getting to where you want to be as a full-time producer. So I'm super happy with this stuff. And with that being said, a lot of the things we talk about here are ways that you can improve the things you're doing or start doing something that's going to help you make more money as a producer so you can go full time. And occasionally we kind of talk about the mindset of things. I think mindset is super important because if you don't have a good mindset in what you're doing, you're not putting all of the energy that you should be putting into it. And not only that, but you're not working at an efficient level. You're not at 100%. And when you're not working at an efficient level, you can put out sloppy stuff. And when you put out sloppy stuff, that shows on who you are. And it can make you actually, in turn, lose money. You could be doing everything that we've discussed in this podcast so far. But if your mindset isn't where it needs to be, and you're stuck kind of down on yourself, you could be losing way more money than anything. You're just wasting your time. And what's more precious than your time? We can always get more money, but we can't get enough time. And so some of the things that kind of go into that are like overworking yourself. But the one thing we're going to be talking about today is imposter syndrome. This is something that every single one of you listening to this podcast has experienced, and you might even be experiencing it now, which is one of the reasons why you want to listen to this podcast. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is a mindset that every single creative person gets into, and even people outside of a creative field. But basically, it's this feeling of you are not worth it. Your music sucks. You're never going to be good. Any successes you had were just made of sheer luck. Anyone else's success was just they were at the right place at the right time. They didn't work hard. It's this mindset of putting you in a sense of failure, a sense of you don't belong where you're at. You're not a professional. You shouldn't make tutorial videos because you don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, other people are going to see that and they're going to make fun of you. It's the same reason why you don't release music. You don't release music because you don't think it's good enough, because other people are going to listen to it and they're going to make fun of you because it doesn't sound as good as the professionals' music. As I'm saying this, I'm sure a bunch of you are going, yeah, that's what I experience on a daily basis. And I believe you. I 100% believe you. I experience this on a daily basis as well. A lot of the times when I'm coming up with episodes, and even right before I'm recording episodes for the podcast, I'm thinking the exact same thing. I'm thinking, what am I doing? Why am I talking into this microphone to people I don't even know? And why do they trust me so much? I don't know what I'm talking about. Who am I? And I say these kinds of things. And then I record a podcast, and as I'm editing it, I'm realizing, no, this is good, useful information. This is stuff I wish I would have heard when I was a younger producer. When I was a few years into the game, I wish I would have heard this stuff and someone would have told it to me, because I think I would be in a completely different spot right now. So this is what we're going to be discussing today. And the first thing I want to talk about is how you can spot imposter syndrome, because the first step is spotting it to get over this and rebuild the confidence that you deserve. Because I'll tell you right now, you are supposed to be where you're at. You're supposed to be creating music for other people to enjoy. But one, it just takes time. And two, it takes work. Time plus work equals success. So the first thing about spotting imposter syndrome, to get rid of it, is to realize in the moment what you're thinking. In those moments, because it happened, sometimes it might last for a whole day, or it might just be for a couple of hours when you see someone else's track who's just a little bit bigger than you and their track is amazing. You might be thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Right there, you should stop and think, hang on, this is imposter syndrome kicking in. That's going to be your first step to overcoming this, is understanding, realize in the moment, this is imposter syndrome. How should I be dealing with this? And there's some other things that you might need to, because, there might be a few different moments when this happens. Because remember, it's not just coming down on yourself, but it's also coming down on others. So you have to really think about what you're about to say or what you're thinking in the moment. And, if you're looking at other people and you're thinking, well, they only got this because of that, or they only did that because they would have gotten this. That right there is imposter syndrome speaking to you as well. It's you wanting to lower their success so you can keep yourself up on a higher pedestal. This is imposter syndrome that you want to get rid of. And it's not going to help you out when you dwell on other stuff. It's only going to bring you down and make you feel worse. And then you're not going to be working at 100%. You're not going to be efficient. You're not going to be putting out the best things that you could be putting out in the moment. So be sure to pay attention to not just with what you're saying about yourself, but what are you thinking about other people? Other people who might get a little bit more success than you when you've been working at it for the same amount of time. There's nothing wrong with them. They're doing what they need to do. And here's the other thing too, is they're thinking the same thing as you. So that brings us to the next topic, which is how you can overcome imposter syndrome. What to do when you're overwhelmed by it, when it seems like it's consuming you. The first thing is to understand that every single other person is experiencing the same thing. I swear to God, if you know another producer, reach out to them right now and say, hey, do you know what imposter syndrome is? This is what it is. Do you ever experience this? I will put 10 times out of 10, I will put money down on saying that they say yes. And if they say no, they're lying. It's just a bold-faced lie. Every single person experiences this, whether you are at the top of the top or you are the lowest of the low. Everyone experiences this. So you got to realize that this isn't a journey you're taking by yourself. There's other people that are involved in this as well. By understanding that everyone experiences this imposter syndrome, it's a lot easier to reach out to other people to talk about this kind of thing. And I highly recommend you do right now. Reach out to someone. Ask them if they've ever experienced imposter syndrome. If they have, that's someone you can talk to. And talking to people about this sort of thing helps a lot. There's nothing that helps me out more than when I'm feeling like what I'm doing is not what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not skilled enough. I don't have enough hours under my belt, whatever it is. And then when I start talking to some of my good friends and they're asking me, oh, what have you been up to? And I just start going, oh, I'm working on this. I did that. And then I start to really think about what I'm saying and I go, oh shit. Like within the past 3 or 4 days, these are all the things that I've done, but I don't feel like I've done enough. And then I realize, no, I'm doing enough. I'm doing plenty of things. And it starts to dawn on me where I go, oh, you know what? I think I might be working too much. And this brings us to the other thing. When you are kind of feeling like imposter syndrome is really creeping up on you, might be time to take a little bit of a break. Get some rest. We're going to do a whole episode on rest and how important it is to take a day off. Every single one of you should be taking at least a full day where you're not working your day job, you're not working on music, you're not doing anything at all. Only things that are going to help restore you. But that's not this episode. but it is a part of it. Taking a break is a part of this overcoming imposter syndrome. When it's overwhelming and it feels like it's too much, it's time to just step away for a day or two. Just turn the computer off. Maybe go play video games on your console, watch some TV, watch Netflix, whatever it is. Just step away from music. Don't go on Facebook and Instagram and look at other people's music stuff. Just let your mind rest and get off of the topic. Taking a break is one of the most important things to do for your music. The last part we're going to be talking about with overcoming imposter syndrome are two little things that are kind of one in the same. The last thing we're going to be talking about is something that we talked about in episode 7, which is stop failing and start succeeding. And it's kind of a bridge off of one of the subjects we talked about in that, which is framing your failures as lessons. This is a really key one. When you feel like you've failed, it's important to review what you learned in that failure, quote unquote failure, because I don't like calling them failures. I think they're all lessons. When you can review what you did and where you went wrong, that's when you can go, this is a big lesson that I can learn from. This is what I could have done to make this a little bit more successful. And with that comes framing a positive mindset. This is the second part to this last topic, which is staying positive. When you can reframe these quote unquote failures as lessons, you're already reprogramming your mind to look at any sort of failure as a good thing. It's a lesson. You're getting something out of this. You're not just getting more plays off of whatever it is. You're not just getting the instant gratification. You're really having to think and process what you learned and apply that in the next thing, which can take you so far if you can reframe everything as being a positive. When you see another producer who's been working at the same game as you, that shouldn't be a competitive thing. You shouldn't look at that and go, oh, well, they got theirs. Where's mine? I didn't get mine. I don't like that person. No. That's not what you should be doing. Instead, you should be praising them. You should be reaching out and telling them how proud you are of them and how great their stuff is. You should be trying to help them, because if they're going somewhere and you're on their good side, you could be going somewhere with them. And if they're in the same mindset that we're talking about here, then so many other people can help each other. This is one of the key things with everyone listening to this episode today, is that if you can reprogram your mind to get in this positive aspect where you see someone succeeding and you want to help them and give them praise and push them even further, if everyone can do that in this episode, so many of you guys will be going so many different places, and in a good way. As the saying goes, a rising tide lifts all ships. This is how you guys should be thinking. Anytime you see a negative, you have to look for the positive. And this is going to help you get out of this imposter syndrome loop that you might constantly be in. Trust me, I used to experience imposter syndrome so frequently, it was causing me so much stress and anxiety, I had to start seeing a therapist for it. And it wasn't until I started to really reprogram my mind to where imposter syndrome doesn't pop up very frequently. It still does, and I'm sure it always will. It'll never go away, but it's far less than it used to be, and it's far less severe as well, which is what you're trying to go for. So don't let imposter syndrome keep you down. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be creating music for other people to enjoy. Again, time plus work equals success. So you have to work at it and know that it's not going to come overnight. There's so many people that don't have a career until they're 10 years into it. So if you're only on year 2, you got to buckle up and understand that you might not get anything remotely successful for another 8 years. That's a possibility. It might not. You might get it in 2 or 3, but you have to get in this mindset of you're in the long game here. You got to play your cards right in the long game. Get to that 10-year mark and then reevaluate if you need to. But understand that it takes time. You're not going to be an overnight success. More than likely. You could be, who knows? But more than likely, you're not going to be an overnight success, so be patient. And know that other people are riding this journey with you. They're feeling the same way, and talk to each other. Reach out. That's it for today, guys. It's Christmas Eve that I'm recording this podcast episode, so I got to get to prepping some things, spending some time with family. I'm also feeling a little bit sick, so I don't want to run your ears into the ground for another 45 minutes, especially because I'll be dead for Christmas. And I've got a 6.5 pound rib roast for tomorrow night that I've been dry aging for 9 days now, so I want to enjoy that. But you guys, as always, head to the Facebook community, Electronic Dance Money Community, Apple Podcasts to rate and review the show. Share this episode with a friend. If you know someone struggling with imposter syndrome or they don't know much about it, share this episode with them. They deserve to know what you're learning in this episode as well. So take care, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And I'll see you guys next time.